Well, I like making food that tastes good, and I don't even mind making food that tastes bad. But if I had to choose, I think I'd pick the former. So if you want to know how to make it a little bit better, but maybe not quite as good as it maybe could be, I think that you should listen to what I'm talking about. And if you learn a little something from this, well, I hope it served a purpose, and hey, that's what we're here for. Good, better. Nailed it. Woo!
Hello, and welcome to the Cook Better podcast. My name is Corey, and today I have my brother Nate here with me.
Hi.
And we are going to be talking about blue-collar lunches. So blue-collar lunches would be, I guess it doesn't have to be blue-collar. It can be any lunch where you don't have a microwave or an oven or whatever. You're not heating it up necessarily. So both Nate and I work construction, and we have, you don't have access on the job site to microwaves, although we'll get into it a little bit. There are people that bring their own microwaves to the jobs. So, but I don't know that I have anything like mind-blowing in mind, for what to bring to work. There's not going to be, if you're listening and you work a job where you don't have a microwave, I don't think anything we're going to talk about is something that maybe you've never thought of or whatever, but it's just more just talking about stuff we've made and maybe something never crossed your mind to bring. So that's kind of what we'll be getting into. But and Nate, you're better at, like, I'm not good at meal prep, so you're better at I guess when you hear when you think about what you're gonna the week, what you would bring to work, is there something immediately that comes to mind, like what you would bring? Or
it's kind of a crazy idea, but what I like to do when I don't have a microwave is just a easy ham and cheese sandwich with mayonnaise and mustard. But you make it better by putting chips on top of it. You can't put those stinking chips on beforehand because mayonnaise and mustard will make it soggy. Yeah. So bring it in a baggie, throw it on top, eat the rest of them later.
Yeah, there's something about any sandwich, you at minimum have to have a crunchy chip or something crunchy to go along with it. But I do like going on top of it. And that's kind of what I think everybody, when they think of anything, just what are you going to bring for lunch? You don't have anything, you can't heat it up. A sandwich is going to be the first thing that comes to mind. At least that's kind of the way it is for me too. But and like you said, a ham sandwich, that's and it's hard to beat I don't know,
basic,
especially on a hot day, because you got a cold cut sandwich with cheese on. I don't know. We get our lunch pails. If you don't work in a job where it's outside, or maybe it's something you got. I don't know. You put it in a lunch pail, but you usually have an ice pack, especially in the summer. Yep. And so there's something to working out in the sun or working in a hot environment, and then getting something cold, and the meat and cheese is always just good. But so if you're making, I am not a get up in the morning and I'm terrible. I wake up enough time to throw my pants on and get out of the door.
Right.
But so I don't make a lunch the morning of, Okay. So I think there's a little, you say just ham, cheese, mayonnaise, mustard, but I think
basic.
And that's very basic. But I think even in that, there's an assembly process, at least in my mind. I know there is, for order of ingredients, to not, because otherwise it's sitting in the refrigerator. That's what I do. I make it the night before.
Yep.
So then it's sitting in the refrigerator overnight, and if you do it wrong, you get soggy bread.
Yep.
So do you like what I put? I don't know. What do you? I guess
So
don't you really think about that?
I did actually, because I did have soggy bread, and I made the mistake of putting all the condiments in between the meat.
Yeah.
And then it just will fall out on your lap
squeeze
every
out.
single time.
And the meat can be wet, like ham.
Yeah.
Like if you get deli slice stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take lettuce and put it in between paper towel, and that will be your barrier between your breads.
So, like, dry it off with a
Dry
paper
it
towel
off,
first,
and then
then
wait
put it
like
on
10
the-
minutes, and then you can
Right.
build your sandwich
Okay.
that way.
Okay.
Put that on your breads.
I assumed you weren't saying put paper towel in your sandwich and then
You
pull it
don't
off
do
later.
that, please.
Yeah. But I didn't know if you meant like
I'm not crazy.
like extra bag with the lettuce and then assemble later, which have done something like that.
I mean, you could, but
sometimes
have-
we'll do that with like a tomato
yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
Put
tomato
the
for sure.
tomato
Never put
in
it on there
in a
before.
separate container.
Or pickles.
Or pickles, yeah, because
Yep.
those are, you're not getting the moisture out of there. But I do the same thing, like you're saying, with the lettuce, dry it off with paper towel. I do the same thing with ham.
Yep.
Or turkey's usually a little drier. For whatever reason, ham's always wet. It's kind of disgusting, but it's always wet. And,
Right.
but do the same thing, dry it off, and then so for me, but then the lettuce creates your barriers. What you're saying,
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of between the bread and the meat, and
Yep. If you're storing it assembled overnight.
right.
Yep.
So, one thing I do that I found helps, and it's not foolproof, but the biggest no-no for me is having the meat against the bread, because it just is a soggy mess. So, there's two options. One, you can toast the bread, which I've done sometimes, and that's good. It all depends. But if you don't want to do that, my main thing is I love mayonnaise, and so I will put mayonnaise, and you don't have to go overboard, but on both pieces of bread first, because the mayonnaise has moisture in it, but the moisture isn't water in mayonnaise; it's fat,
It's fat.
and oil and egg yolk or whatever. But I found that if you put the mayonnaise on each slice of bread, or do your mayonnaise on one slice and your mustard on the other, and then do your meat and then your cheese or whatever, then that creates kind of a little bit of a barrier too. So,
Right.
but I think it's a really good tip. Like you said, or we talked about the tomato or pickle, having that in a separate container, because there's just once you introduce that moisture in a tomato, especially, it's just, and especially the way I know you like a tomato sandwich. We're not talking, hard green or, barely ripe tomatoes. They're juicy and just make a mess. And if you don't have them laying flat in your cooler or in your lunch pail either, it's going to go everywhere. So,
Right.
But, so sandwiches, that's kind of, my first thought. And there's easy stuff like the, I'm trying to think here. Just, you got granola bar and that kind of thing. And, and that's, or a yogurt cup. And we're talking more about, stuff you could make, but I like to make, I don't know, something like you said, the chips though. I do like the chip idea on top of the things.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Takis too, and I know you.
Takis are good.
Yeah,
They're a little
spicy.
rough on top.
Yeah, they you
They're
get
a little rough regardless.
yeah,
but
you get the white bread sticking to the roof of your mouth, and then the Takis stabbing the roof of your mouth. It's kind of rough, but hey, you're eating fast, and a lot of times we sitting in the truck. There's, when we first started, this is 15 years. I mean, I don't know how much a rabbit trail will go down, but I used to really I do like lunches. Any break in work is always look forward to that. But I used to like the lunches 10, 15 years ago before everybody had their phone, because then everybody sat in the same spot. You usually bring your lunch pail in, and go sit in the job site, and you'd all kind of sit in a circle or up against a wall, and everybody's like, what do you got? Or, Little Debbie's or whatever. The bad thing, the other part of unrelated to what we bring, but the honest truth is a lot of people with lunch, if you're a cold lunch person, there's way too many, and I did it for too many years, of you're just going to the gas station.
Yep.
That's what your lunch is.
Yep.
especially looking for a cold drink in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'll get a cold drink, and then I'm not good. I know you're a lot better than I am with the plan ahead. I'm terrible at packing a lunch. I'm just,
Yeah.
but what about like, maybe, things from, do you do like a lot of leftovers?
Yeah, I do. I actually do quite a bit of smoking and do a lot of things on the Blackstone for meal prep throughout the week for lunches and dinners. So we'll get into that eventually.
Well,
But
and that's the meal prep thing, that's something I think is good for if somebody, I think that's great to do. I don't do it. That doesn't mean I don't think it's a good idea. And so then if you're doing even meal, so are you thinking ahead when you're making dinner or you're making meals then I'm going to be bringing this tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I will normally do enough of a couple things that I will have lunch and dinner prepped, so that way we don't have to wonder, oh, what are we doing?
Right.
So
you can just, when you're boxing up your leftovers, you're just basically making your lunch for tomorrow or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if we're eating something cold and we don't have a microwave, then is there anything you won't, like for me, I'm kind of a baby with a lot of things that I don't want like seems obvious. Spaghetti, I'm not eating that cold.
I will eat cold spaghetti.
I will
every day of the week with enough red pepper. Oh yeah.
Oh god. See, I'll eat like cold pizza, which is like the same. It's bread instead of the pasta. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know what it is about spaghetti. I remember the first time I saw a guy do that on a job site. I'm like, what in the heck is wrong with you? This guy is nuts. But, So, is there anything you wouldn't eat cold then? Or is it just,
let me put it this way. I bought a package of hot dogs and a package of buns and had that for a week straight.
So I guess,
I don't think there is anything that I just, whatever's easy and fast.
Yeah. Well, and when we were kids, we would eat hot dogs cold all the time. I never ate them like on a bun.
Like bologna, it's just horizontal
tubular bologna.
Tubular bologna.
Yeah, right. I think, there's definitely a lot of truth to that. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just a weird.
What wouldn't you eat? Besides spaghetti. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not good at. I'm just not a leftovers. I don't think ahead enough for. So maybe with like meat. Meat I'll do because for me, if I've got any extra chicken or any extra steak or which I try to keep our meals to because I don't plan ahead like that for the next day. I just kind of try to make sure I don't have a lot left over when I make a meal for dinner. But if I do, I'll just do a wrap, and I'll eat meat and everything like that. But I don't, soup. But even a soup thing, if you or SpaghettiOs, really, if you have thermos, then you can just. We used to do that when we were kids at school. Mom would. Macaroni and cheese, ramen noodles. If you do ramen noodles, they turn into giant mushy noodles with the liquid and everything. But I used to love that. So really, there's not. I mean, you can keep stuff warm, or relatively warm. But
we got to talk about Luke, our brother, because he still loves peanut butter and jelly.
Well, and that is one that I don't do the peanut butter and jelly. That's easy. It is cheap.
Super easy.
Super cheap. And the bread's the most expensive part and the peanut butter. But I like rather than the peanut butter and jelly, I like peanut butter and honey. I'd rather have peanut butter and honey. But same thing. And I'll do that. I'll
Right.
go through phases because I don't like the same thing every day or even 4 days in a row or whatever. So our other brother, he eats, as far as I know, he probably still brings it. He works in an office and he probably still brings peanut butter and jelly, I imagine.
Not knocking it, Luke.
Yeah, it's all right. And that's I wish I had the I could do that.
Yeah.
Because it's so simple. And then I like but peanut butter and jelly too. I like there's pairings.
You could put bacon on peanut butter and jelly. That'd be pretty
That'd
good.
be really good. Well, bacon and peanut butter is always going to be good. But I like, if I have peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and honey, then I want just regular Lay's potato chips or original Pringles or something. For me, something I like the regular potato.
Yep.
I don't want like Doritos or something like that, or even Takis necessarily. Something about just the plain potato chips goes well. But if I have a ham sandwich or something like that, then I like a Dorito or I don't know, or
any chip is good.
Any chip is good.
It really depends on if you're going with your ham and barbecue sauce or if you're going with ham and mustard and mayonnaise.
I've never done ham and barbecue sauce.
Ham and barbecue sauce is not great, but desperation calls.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes.
but that's
like
a nice thing. You can switch up your deli meats, and then you can switch up your condiments, so you're not doing the same thing every single day.
Well, and that's a big if you switch that's a good point though, because you can really change the flavor of a sandwich just by the type of condiment you put on it, like you're saying, or like we talked about the pickle and tomato and lettuce, or if you put you could put jalapenos on any cold, whatever you'd put on a burger or something you can put on a sandwich. And one of my favorites is one that Mom used to make when we were kids, and I've got the recipe, and it's none of this is health food because, but I could, just because now knowing the recipe, the ham sandwiches we used to have as kids going whenever we go on road, like up north on road trips or whatever.
Poppy seed.
Yeah, so it's like a poppy seed butter, and it's a real simple recipe. It's just you buy a tub of you might be able to get real butter, but it's like it's margarine.
I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter or whatever. And then you've got poppy seed and mustard, and I think the only other thing is minced onion that goes in that, and you just mix it all up, and then you just spread that on the bun. We always had on hamburger buns. It's the only sandwiches we had on hamburger buns, and then it had to have American cheese, ham. And just that poppy seed butter was it. And that was, those were the best things. You're swimming in the Lake Michigan in the hot sand, and your hands are sandy and cold, but all the sandwiches.
Running down Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Yep. Them sandwiches are the best. But so that's real simple, or you can get complicated. And I did for a while. We talked about like you do separate tomatoes, and then I think you've done it too, but I'll put the tomatoes in just like a small Tupperware or whatever. But then I'll put like garlic powder or garlic salt on the tomato and some red pepper in there, and just let that like sit overnight. Just a little extra flavor. I've done that before. Almost like you're seasoning your tomatoes. Marinating your tomatoes just to have on the sandwich. But so I don't know that there's really anything, I don't know, that I won't eat. Some of the stuff I just don't like, lasagna, or something about tomato sauce to me is just not a cold food. I would, and it's not that
Besides
I wouldn't.
pizza.
Except for pizza. It's not that I wouldn't like do it if I was desperate, but it's just I'd rather do peanut butter and honey than cold spaghetti or whatever. But I'm not great with leftovers in general. Even reheating them when I have the option at home, I'm not. I've gotten better over the years just because I don't want to waste my money, or throw food away. Right. So, I guess another thing that other with sandwiches, bologna sandwich. I love a bologna sandwich.
It's a goat.
Yeah, you can just I don't know. There's probably somebody listening that's like, these guys are just garbage eaters. It's just like, what kind of white trash baloney?
Just wait till some of the other episodes.
Yeah, because, but, and it's not, obviously, it's not something, you don't want to have it every day, but a simple, quick, one of the things that takes a little more time that I do really enjoy, well, like I said, wraps.
Yep.
So wraps are
good.
Always good. And that can be my favorite type of wrap is like a chicken and some cheddar cheese and some barbecue, some ranch, like a chicken bacon ranch type of a wrap. And I always kind of it's hard because I think of every part of eating. I want to eat healthy. I don't as much as I should, but and then also don't want to spend a ton of money. So I look at, chicken bacon ranch wrap you can get at any Applebee's or Logan's or whatever, and they're like $12 for this, or $10 for a wrap. So, but it's a good way to use leftover stuff, and I always got ranch, always got barbecue, and sometimes it has bacon, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe I'll throw some French fried onions or something like that in there, some red onion. So wraps, but kind of along the same line as wraps would be like pinwheels.
Yep.
Don't make those all the time, but just to kind of change it up a little bit.
Those are planned beforehand kind of a thing. Pinwheels for sure.
That's when you get Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
And what am I going to do? It's a Sunday. I got to work tomorrow, and I'll make some pinwheels or whatever.
You could even put those together during a football game, though.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of a Sunday afternoon, especially like in the fall and winter. It's got the TV on and watching football, making food.
Yep.
But I like, but with that, and that kind of goes to somewhat as I've, there's certain things that I keep in the refrigerator at all times. I try to have stocked always. Condiments, whatever condiments, our condiment doors are ridiculous, but
overflowing.
Hot sauces and everything, but cream cheese is one. I've always got cheese, always got cream cheese. I always have tortilla shells in the pantry, and it's just a staple thing. And with that, you can make anything. It's just like bread. You can always make a sandwich. You can always make a wrap or pinwheels. And most pinwheel recipes, have cream cheese as kind of the base spread, and then you season it however you want. I like to do the whatever with the cream cheese, and then a little bit of mayonnaise. That kind of thins it out, but it also, you don't want just pure cream cheese because that is kind of sweet. So the mayonnaise is a little more savory, and then I'll put a little sriracha in it maybe.
Yep.
And then do some jalapeno, whether it's fresh jalapeno, depending on what you got at home, or just out of the jar or whatever. And then some kind of herb. I always like cilantro. Seems to always kind of goes with everything.
It does.
But so pinwheels is another one. For a while there, I was buying those
tuna packets.
Yes, the tuna packets, exactly.
I can one up you on that one. So we've been buying the Costco chicken containers. 32 grams of protein for just a small can of...
In the can?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just make that into a buffalo dip with Greek yogurt, and it's just Greek yogurt, that, and Frank's Red Hot.
Oh.
And that's a good thing to just bring along and dip
crackers? Or what do you, chips or crackers? Oh, yeah, that would be a really good idea.
But if you want bang for your buck, that's bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's a...
And it's not dry like tuna.
Yeah, tuna especially in those tuna without
it needs something.
Yeah, there's a reason Subway mixes watery mayonnaise or whatever with it, and it does need something, because even those flavored tuna packets
they're good.
They're good, but yeah, I agree. They need something, because you like you said, they're kind of dry, and but that's a really good idea with the mixing it, because I'll make like a tuna fish sandwich, and it's just but That's easy though, with just the
Yeah.
chicken dip, because then you just dip it your crackers or
Yeah.
your tortilla chips, and that's all you need. You don't have to go to so Greek yogurt instead of
Yes, I always
Just
use
the-
Greek yogurt instead
yeah,
of
sour cream
cheese.
or
Yeah, sour cream, not
Yeah.
cream cheese.
in
Yes,
place of that. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I do need to try that. That does sound good.
it's pretty good.
I think, with like tuna fish. Yeah, I don't know, something about. I always get on these kicks where I'm like, it's healthy and it's just pure protein or something.
Right.
I think I'm gonna make myself eat these, and then you eat it, and it's like, oh, this is garbage. I
Yeah.
need to get like a double cheeseburger or something. And, but
But it's kind of the same thing with egg salad. Egg
Yeah.
salad is delicious, but you have to be in your truck by yourself to eat it
yeah,
because you're not going to torment anybody.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh crap, he brought the egg salad, and that's or just hard boiled eggs
Yeah.
by themselves. They
Delicious.
hard boiled egg, and just take a bottle of hot sauce, and douse that, or egg salad sandwich. My kids like it too, and it's like my daughter will ask for it, and I'm like, I don't want you to be that kid, but I
Yeah.
guess if you're gonna eat it, hey, if you're not ashamed of it, then I'll make it. But someday you're gonna be embarrassed, and whatever.
Shoot, have
Yeah.
you met my dad?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so no, I really like that chicken idea. I'm gonna have to try that too.
Well, we're on kind of not really a tortilla chip route, but so either salsa or pico or whatever you can make. Those are super easy, but they're filling, and
That's true.
it's hard to beat those. for
Right.
a
Yeah. Chips and
simple.
salsa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea too. And especially if, I mean, the chips themselves aren't
Great.
necessarily healthy
Right.
necessarily, but I don't know if it's actually true that a tortilla chip is better than a potato chip as far as health wise, or a better.
Right.
But I'm sure if you're really trying to watch it, but pico, I mean,
Yeah.
a pico or a salsa is a great. I mean, you're getting a lot of different vegetables in there and some lime juice and that kind of thing. And if you really wanted to keep it on the healthier side, you can always
Right.
buy some kind of chip or Whole
Right.
Foods, whatever, or make eat it by the spoonful. Who cares?
I've done that.
You're right.
I forgot my chips.
Yeah. Well, just pour it in. But yeah, that's a really good point too. Anything like that, chips and salsa, and you could do the same thing. I mean, a quesadillas or whatever. If you wanted to make a quesadilla, that's good cold. It's interesting to me, like the Hispanic guys at the job sites. We're in commercial construction, and a lot of our hangers and finishers are Hispanic guys. And one of the tools that they always have, they're bringing in all their stuff, all their T-square and their board gun and their finishing tools, and they always are bringing a microwave in.
Yep.
Every single time. And we've got in our tool room at our shop like 3 microwaves sitting up on the shelf of microwaves that have gotten left behind. But it's I don't know if it's a cultural thing or those guys, they will not eat, like, must not want cold, and a lot of times they have tacos and they'll have whatever protein. I don't always know, but it always smells so good, but they'll have whatever protein they have, and they just got a stack of tortillas sitting in the middle, and they'll be all sitting around in the same room, and they kind of share whatever that they've got. And I always found that, and there's been guys that we've both worked with that'll be, oh yeah, you got to try this or whatever. And we've had some really good tamales from some guys, and so I don't know if it's just just lazy white people that we don't bring a microwave or what. But I'm not. I already got a truck, I got a bunch of so many tools. I'm not hauling a microwave around too or whatever, but I do find that interesting, just to see the way just different people handle lunch.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool. But as far as cold lunches, back to that, I guess. So the other thing that I've done before is just like basically an adult Lunchable.
Yeah.
Is
Those are good.
and we've made like not adult or with that for the kids too for their school lunches, just because Lunchables can be so expensive.
Yeah.
But I like those. What are they? I don't know. They're not snackables or I don't know.
Oh, the protein ones?
Yeah, they got like
Yeah.
cashews and cranberries and cheese.
Which never seems like enough.
No, it's this little tiny package, and they want it's like $3-4 for this or whatever. You might get a pack of 4 of them for whatever, but it's messed up that it. I think it's messed up that it doesn't taste. It never tastes exactly the same. It's got to be in your mind.
Yeah.
Because it's the same ingredients. But something about opening up that stupid little plastic package, it's like, oh yeah, this is maybe because you spent
You're releasing
that money.
all the preservatives.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I don't know. Must be it's all mental on that
for sure.
It's even the same with the kids with the you got Ritz crackers and cut the cheese into. I'll take the time and cut the cheese into little thin squares and the meat. I don't have a round cutter. Maybe need to get
new investment.
Yeah, maybe get one like a round cookie cutter to cut the bologna into round shapes for the cracker things. But yeah. In a fun size Crunch Bar.
It doesn't say Lunchables on it, so that's why.
Right. Need a 3D printer.
You're off-brand.
Yeah.
You're Aldi.
I wonder if they make like a Lunchables labeled Tupperware. That's a good idea for Lunchables. I bet you could sell that to a lot of parents and just be like a resealable, just like a regular sandwich Tupperware, but it says Lunchables, and then
there's got to be a graphic designer out there that can do that for us, right?
Graphic designer who also has a 3D printer. We got to know some people that could do that, but that's a great, like a little, like your own little protein pack.
Yep.
The nuts, dried fruit. And I love dried mango, and that's that for a long time. Like I always go in phases, but I'd always have a bag of dried mangoes from and Aldi. If you don't have an Aldi, I'm sure like even you can get them
Meijer,
Meijer, any grocery
Kroger.
store, anything, and dried mango and some cashews, or even if you don't want to spend the money on cashews, they can be expensive too. But peanuts or
almonds
are great. Blue Diamond has those are it can be expensive, but when you look at how much they actually put in them dumb little protein pack things too, if you actually did that kind of serving size, then a $10 bag of Blue Diamond almonds will last you a month,
right?
So that's really great. And then you can even throw like a hard-boiled egg in there or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff is going to require just a little bit of prep, but it's really not. It's not like, and especially if you do like what you're talking about, where you're kind of you plan it as you're making your dinner the night before. I don't mind spending the kids, if you have kids that go to school, you got to make them a lunch.
Yep.
I'm trying not to, or my wife and I are trying not to lean on. Ever since COVID, it's like free hot lunch everywhere.
Right.
But the free hot lunch is like Bosco sticks and it's all garbage.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just go, well, it's free. They're gonna have, it's there. It might as well use it, or it's not costing us anything. So, I think it's not good. It's not always good. It's school food,
right.
And so, and I think that's the way too. As adults, we use the gas station, and it costs us money, but it's still like I'll just grab a hot dog. And I remember way too many years of if there's a Speedway gas station around, you get the nachos. And you
Dangerous.
dump the chili and the cheese on the chips but to your point, you can either go to Speedway, spend $5 on a tin of the tortilla chips and dump nacho cheese and chili and whatever on it, and it's absolute garbage for you. Or you can just either buy some, or better yet, make some if you grow some vegetables in your garden, some pico, and it's basically it doesn't have that fake cheese flavor, but it's similar deal.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and it's good for you, and that's what I've always slowly been trying to do better, more healthy food as we get older. Realize that we can't eat the garbage that we ate. It's not a candy bar and a Monster and a bag of Doritos for lunch, and that's good enough. So yeah, that's I think just a little bit of effort, and you can have a really good lunch. I'm trying to think if there's any
Anything we missed?
Yeah, I don't know. In stuff like a cheese stick or whatever, that is a simple one that's quick, and you just buy the big bag of them and you just throw them in in along with your sandwich and your. Because most cases, I mean, you're not just eating lunch. You've got to break, at some point in the day. Even same with kids with the school. And these are all stuff that are interchangeable, really. So I think string cheese is a good one. Like you said, yogurt. Those are all just the kind of things that you can buy prepackaged. But the hard thing,
easy stuff.
Yeah, but even with yogurt, buying a tub of yogurt instead of and then just taking that 20 seconds it takes to scoop it out and put it in a smaller container and bring that, and then you have to wash it, but is a lot cheaper than buying the individual package size yogurt. So that's
and throw some honey on it. Just Greek yogurt and honey. My girls
dress
love
it up. Or some granola. Put some granola in with it.
Fruit.
Yeah, fruit.
Anything.
Fresh fruit.
Yep.
Yeah. And with vegetables.
Ooh, yeah. Vegetables
just
go to.
Yeah, any vegetable's a good cold meal thing. And if you really just don't like plain vegetables, you can have ranch or some vegetable dip
hummus.
Or some hummus is definitely
hummus
a good
is
one.
actually pretty nice. You buy the cheaper. Well, it doesn't have to be cheaper. Get whatever you can afford, but then you can mix spices into hummus and make it your own, because you'll get it's just pine nuts and whatever's in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Dress it up in your own way.
I like hot sauce.
Yeah.
And then more hot sauce.
Yeah. Well, but that's a really good point too, because I think just like, I don't know, that's a really good idea that honestly I never thought about doing that with hummus, but because even like the red pepper hummus, or you just get the original or you get the red pepper, and I've made it on my own, and you need like tahini and the chickpeas and everything, and it's a lot of work, but it did taste way better to make it from home. And even that's going to be cheaper. You can buy enough ingredients to make a big old serving of hummus. Huge, more than you'd ever use for what you can spend on one little. Right. Because those Sabara tubs or little packages are like $6 for that. Yeah, and
you get them from Costco, and it's like, you can't see my hands, but it's big.
Yeah, it's big. Right, exactly. Well, but that's just, and that's part of the whole prepping and thinking ahead, and that's all part of it. And it can be dangerous with places like Costco and Sam's Club and stuff to buy more than what you really need. But if you
know your limits,
know what's going to last. One, and not going to go bad. I don't need 5 heads of lettuce or whatever. I'm not going to use that. But the dressing up hummus I think is a great idea. And then and obviously hummus is a great dip for any vegetable.
Yeah, any vegetable. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Cracker.
good for you, and it's of all the dips, it's probably the most filling.
Yeah.
But we used to do you do like celery, which celery is doesn't have a lot of flavor on its own necessarily, but celery and peanut butter.
Yep.
Or I've never done the whole ants on a log thing when people do the celery, peanut butter, and put raisins on it or whatever. But I don't know if you think that's cute and want to take a picture for Pinterest.
Bring it to work. See how the construction guys.
Hey guys, I got ants on a log. Yeah,
your wife made that for you, didn't she?
Yeah. No, that's. But yeah, any fresh vegetables with in hummuses. I've done the hummus, and even if you don't want to do whatever, you're like, it's too much work. I'm not making my own hummus. I'm not going to scoop out. They have those individual little serving cups, even at the off brands like Aldi or whatever. Have everywhere you can find them now, and then that's nice. And even with peanut butter, they have the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just the convenience. I feel lazy, like we're lazy Americans whenever I buy that kind of thing. But sometimes that might be the nudge to get you to actually eat it, because you don't have to deal with the hassle and you're throwing things together at last minute. So, but yeah, vegetables is definitely a good one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, any other lunches we've done. You know, any kind of beef sticks or jerky.
If you got the means, make your own beef sticks.
Yeah.
Dad does that all the time.
Yeah.
And we just had some today. Delicious.
Yep.
And
some
protein
jerky.
packed, and it'll fill you up.
Yeah, it's interesting
Bring
when you
floss.
Yeah. If you're making your own jerky and whatever, and the homemade jerky is, it's not as like rip your teeth out as some of the store bought stuff. And anything more and more anything that you make your own, you can customize.
Yeah.
So you can adjust the flavors to whatever you like. Jerky's a great example of that, and also something that takes a little, like the jerky kit that he uses. He's got Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop or whatever or you can just order them on Amazon.
Right.
It's like a caulk gun that squirts out the meat paste, right?
Yeah. Well, he gave that to me because he uses the grinder that attaches to your KitchenAid, and you just cut it into like very thin pieces, and it'll just slice it up for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
anyway.
Yeah, but
regardless.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit of an investment up front.
Mm-hmm.
But the bags that he brought in to work are like he brings in like 5 pounds worth of jerky.
Yeah.
And if you bought Jack Link's 5 pounds worth of Jack Link's jerky, that's 150 pounds. I mean, they're $10
it is
for
ridiculous.
8 ounces or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's all weighing the value, I guess, a little bit. Might be a little bit more money up front, might be a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But everything we're talking about on this podcast, the Cook Better, is the whole thing, just a little bit of extra effort and a little bit of technique, and you can make stuff that's better than a lot of the things that you can buy at the store.
Right.
And healthier for you, better for you. And so a lot of the things that we talked about aren't
great.
super healthy, the bologna sandwich. But
hey, if you're doing those sandwiches, you might as well have different options for.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? We say that, but I don't know. I'd have to compare. But I think that I'm guessing that a bologna sandwich is still going to be better for you than a double cheeseburger.
Oh, for
maybe.
Sure.
I mean, maybe not, but it's going to be better than the candy bar at the gas station and the bag of chips or whatever. Even though we said eat chips along with the bologna sandwich, but so it's all just, and that's kind of the whole thing. It's just doing that little extra, but like the hummus and veggies or the or fresh fruit, or obviously that's going to be stuff that's good for you. And the more you can make at home, and if you make your bread, I mean, you can go, you take it as far as you want to go. I know that you and your wife make a lot of sourdough breads. Mm-hmm. So, and it's so much better with a sandwich on sourdough bread than on a white Wonder Bread type of store-bought sandwich bread.
It's better for you, but there's always the nostalgia of biting into the fresh white bread, and it just gets stuck in top of your roof of your mouth. And
there's some
with bologna, and maybe Miracle Whip.
Yeah, if you do, there's something. Nate and I, when we were kids, there was our mom never had.
No, she never did.
We never. It was always like mayonnaise, like the Hellman's mayonnaise, not Duke's. Duke's just now is in
not
Michigan
the fancy
finally.
Stuff.
But it was Hellman's. But the family that the lady that babysat us, it's son our age, and we'd have bologna sandwiches there, and it was always Miracle Whip. So that is the only thing that I like Miracle Whip with. Is still to this day is just those bologna sandwiches. But
it is a trash condiment.
It is gross. I don't know what. Yeah, it's a salad dressing.
Sweet.
It's just It's tangy and not the ways that I want a condiment to be.
It's separate with bologna.
Yeah, with bologna. It's
mustard though.
It's got to have mustard on there. Yeah, we're back to bologna. I could eat a bologna sandwich right now for sure.
We're not weird.
No, not that weird. But that's the way it is with. I just did and I don't know if it's before or after this one, but did one on grilled cheese, and that was the whole nostalgia thing, like you're saying. There's something to that. It's weird, like whatever you had when you were a kid, because like it's still one of my favorite grilled cheese sandwiches is just white bread with American cheese, even though that's not a great grilled cheese sandwich, but it just tastes. I don't know. There's something.
It doesn't
about,
have 3 different cheeses on it.
What? Yeah, right, exactly. Or the bread, but same, the bread and whatever.
Tomato soup.
So yes, well, that was part of the discussion. But yeah, so anything you can at very least assemble at home.
Yeah.
One is going to be cheaper. Whatever you can make at home, odds are it's going to be better for you.
Yep.
Like we talked about with. Especially the bread. I mean, the sourdough bread's a little more involved, but even with a yeast bread, there's four, maybe 5 ingredients.
Right.
And grab a loaf of bread out of your pantry and look at the back of it that you bought from the store. There's 10, 12 ingredients in there. So, yeah, that's just step it up and get as fancy as you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do it's with the kids' lunches. I don't do you go on Pinterest and I'm sure those parents don't actually do that garbage either. They don't, make little animal shapes and for Susie on her lunch at school. But, so I don't know. Hey, maybe, I don't know if you've got any ideas. Feel free to email cookbetter at